Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings, and welcome to another episode of DBZ Nation. See, I got on my, I'm repping the Mario, the Nintendo. Here we go shirts. You see there, got Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Bowser. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to make this quick video and talk about some of the new updates that people are talking about the Nintendo Switch. I made a video about probably about a week and a half ago while I was talking about the price of the Nintendo Switch being way too high for regular consumers like myself, who, pay rent every 30 days, who have bills, and probably can't afford expensive console like a Nintendo Switch 2, which last time I heard is retailing for $450. And I think the box set with like the new Mario World kart game, I think that one is like 550, but I could be a little bit off on that price. But there's a new leak. The PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5 is dropping their price by $100 to combat to fight the Nintendo Switch and the new Xbox that's coming out. And I just wanted to talk to y'all to a few minutes about what do I think about. Now, first off, I love Nintendo. I've always liked Nintendo. I remember I remember being a young boy and having a Nintendo playing Mario. I remember when Super Nintendo came out, and I went and got the new Street Fighter game and Mortal Kombat and, playing Super Mario World. Um, I remember when the Nintendo DS came out. And I don't know about y'all, but I had a Nintendo Game Boy when it first came out. As y'all remember, it was black and white. Then they came out with the Nintendo DS, and it was color, two screens, and probably my favorite console that Nintendo ever made to me. This is just me personally, but my favorite that they ever made was the Nintendo Wii. The Nintendo Wii. And one thing I liked about the Nintendo Wii, it came with games already with the console. As soon as you cut it on, it had tennis, I think ping pong, and some other little games, but like five or six games that came on the console. And I remember when PlayStation first came out with the first PlayStation, and the console used to come with games. So we have a lot of people now who are complaining about the Nintendo Switch not only being too high, but some of the features like if you want to download your old games from your Nintendo Switch to your Nintendo 2, apparently Nintendo has some kind of policy to where you can't do that in some situations determining the game. And I've also been watching a lot of videos of people saying that Nintendo will have the power to not only cut off your Nintendo 2 Switch, but they also reserve the right, or you can't, they reserve the right to, if you can't share the games like with the Nintendo Switch 1, you can share games with your friends. And apparently, from the news that I'm hearing, the Nintendo Switch 2, there's a charge, or you may not be able to share your Nintendo Switch games with your friends. Now, again, I love Nintendo. I'm not here to throw shade on Nintendo. I'm not here to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm not here to make a video for the Nintendo fanboys. There's a hashtag going on YouTube right now on TikTok called Nintendo fanboys. And what is that? And from what I can see, a Nintendo fanboy is just somebody who loves Nintendo products and supports anything that Nintendo does. Now, I want to talk about the new leak of the of this price dropping. Now, I don't have a PS5. I have a PS4, and the reasons I'm going to tell you the reasons why I don't have a PS5, why I have a PS4. I'm going to say maybe about a year ago, I went into GameStop. This was about a year ago. I'm going to say probably around maybe July or August of last year. I went into a GameStop and I was looking for a PS5 console. And I was assuming that the new console was maybe about $400, maybe 450 at most. So I went into the GameStop and I wanted a PS5. They told me they didn't have any more. They didn't have any more PS5s, and I could pre-order one, but that was going to take a few weeks. And the price for the pre-order, I think it was a PlayStation Pro 5, a PlayStation 5 Pro, and they wanted $550. That was with tax and everything. And I was like, whoa, no, that's way too pricey. I wasn't expecting to spend that much money. So he's like, hey, why don't you get a PS4? You can get a PS4, and I think the price was like $299, $315 with tax. So, with my budget, I decided to get a PS4. And I've been pretty happy with the PS4. I've played games like Spider-Man, God of War, 2K, NBA 2K25, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Star Wars. Oh my God, it's the one with Cal. Not Star Wars Survivor, Star Wars Fallen Order. Man, just so many great games I have played on my Switch. And so, it's interesting because, when you really think about it, if you really want to switch, or if you really like PlayStations or you like Xboxes, there's a console for everyone. So I just decided to get me a PS4 simply because the price was cheaper, and it really wasn't that much difference. Like in memory, it wasn't that much difference in the gaming experience, because all the games that PS4 have, of course, you can play those games on PS5. But I found that I could play the same games on the PS4 that I could on the PS5. So it made logical sense to me to just get a PS4 at the time. Now, would I love a PS5? Yes. And I was watching some videos earlier and reading a few articles, seeing as how the Nintendo Switch is going to be dropping here in the next week or two. PS5 is trying, PlayStation, Sony is trying to corner the market by dropping the price of the PS5 to 300 to 350. Now, if you go on Amazon, or you go to Walmart.com, you go to GameStop right now to get a PS5, not the PS5 Pro, because those are two different things. You got the PS5, then you have the PS5 Pro. But the regular PS5, as up to right now, is retailing for $499, and the PlayStation PS5 Pro is retailing for $600 as up to right now. So it would be a power move if PlayStation dropped the PS5 to $300 to $350. I think a lot of people that is considering, because Christmas is coming up. Christmas is coming up. It's already June almost. So we just a few months to Christmas. And I want you to, I don't know if you have children, but I want you to put your mind in the head of a parent, especially in an economy like this with inflation the way that it is and the price of everything that's going up. This the way I think of it. If you was a parent, or you may just be a single person, single man, single woman, whatever, and you're just looking for a good game console. But if you went into Walmart or you went into GameStop and you seen the PS5 was $300 and the Nintendo Switch is $450, would you be more inclined to buy a PlayStation 5, or would you be more inclined to buy a Nintendo Switch 2? Now, keep in mind, some of the video games that I've seen for the Nintendo Switch are pretty high. The first one that gave me reservations, I was kind of alarmed, was I think this new Mario Kart is called Mario World, and it retails for $79.99. So we're talking almost $85 for another Mario Kart game. Again, this ain't no shade to Nintendo. This ain't no shade. Again, I love Mario. I love Mario Kart. I think it's a great game. But Nintendo Switch coming out with this new console, we should have, well, I believe that they should have more games, especially more third-party games that people could download. And I'm wondering, is Mario World, which is really Mario Kart with a nice screen, nice color, but is Mario World worth $79.99? When you can go in the PlayStation store and you can find various games for under $20, good games. Fortnite. Of course, we have the new Grand Theft Auto 6 that's coming out. We have the new Grand Theft Auto 6 that's coming out. Of course, it's going to be on the Xbox and it's going to be on the PlayStation. I don't know if Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be on the Nintendo Switch. If it is, that's going to be a good thing for Nintendo Switch. But a lot of people, a lot of talk is people are excited about the new Grand Theft Auto 6. So putting myself in the shoes of a parent, I can go inside Walmart. Not only can I get a PlayStation for $300, a P5, but I can also get the Grand Theft Auto new game for under $60. So which one would you do? Now, there's a kerfuffle going on right now about there's a lot of people upset that the Nintendo Switch, some of the games are not hard copy. Like they want you to pay, you can pay a certain price for like the downloadable, and then you can pay another price for the actual physical copy. Now, if you old school like me, I like physical copy games. Now, of course, on my PlayStation 4, I got a lot of games that I just downloaded directly from the PlayStation Store. I downloaded Batman Arkham Knight. I downloaded a few other games from the PlayStation Store. But the point that I'm trying to make is, apparently on the Nintendo Switch, you will have to have a paid membership. Listen to what I'm saying. You will have to have a paid membership to not only download new games, but you will have to have a paid membership with Nintendo even to stream or to play certain games. Now, one thing I can say about PlayStation and Xbox, Xbox probably being one of the lesser consoles in the console wars, because it was a time when PlayStation and Xbox was going head to head. PlayStation came out with a console, Xbox came out with a console. PlayStation came out with a PlayStation 2, Xbox came out with Xbox 360. PlayStation came out with PlayStation 3 and 4, Xbox came out with Xbox One and Xbox Series S. But it seems like PlayStation at this point is winning the console wars again, because the Xbox One, as up to right now, retails for $399, and the Xbox S Series retails for almost $500 as up to right now. Now again, will PlayStation be preemptive and almost, I'm going to say not push out, but almost corner the market? Now, you're going to have a lot of people who love Nintendo, who love Mario, who are going to go out and buy the Nintendo Switch regardless of the price. You're going to have people that's going to go out and buy the new Nintendo Switch games regardless of the price. You're going to have people who are going to sign up and be members and pay whatever Nintendo asks. You know, if Nintendo, and you got some people who love Nintendo so much, they will pay anything for the game console. Now, I'm hearing over in the EU, overseas in Europe, they're saying that the Nintendo Switch is going to retail for roughly $450, I believe in euros. So it's probably about the same as it is in American dollars, but you can do the currency thing and, whatever. But I think that if come Christmas time, and if PlayStation 5 does what I think they're gonna do and drop their price to $300 to $350 for the PS5, I think people will buy the PS5 purely out of impulse buying. Purely out of impulse buying, because you're getting, and let's be honest now, again, I love Nintendo, I love what they're doing, but let's be honest, a PS5 versus a Nintendo Switch, it's no way that, first off, you can't play the same games. PlayStation has so many third-party games, so much more games. But it's no way come Christmas time, if PlayStation dropped their prices to $300 versus a Switch that's almost $500, I see parents getting a P5. And is the quality better on a P5 than a Nintendo Switch 2? I think so, because Switch 2 is a handheld console and PS5 is an actual console that plugs into the wall. You can do all the good things with the remote controls. And if you want to stream, this was another thing I didn't understand about Nintendo Switch as I did a little more investigation, a little bit more research. Nintendo Switch, if you want to stream on YouTube or you want to stream on Twitch or Discord or TikTok, there also is a fee to do that. So I'm looking at the Nintendo Switch right now. The console is almost $500. The newest game is almost $80. You got to pay $15 for a membership. You got to pay a fee to stream and talk to your friends on the Nintendo Switch. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? That's the question I guess we have to ask ourselves. Is it worth it to you? And if PS5 did drop their price down, would you be more inclined to buy it? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if I was in a situation to where if the PS5 was $300 to $350, I'd definitely be leaning towards buying one of those consoles today. And one of the benefits of having a PS5, you can actually play your PS4 games on your PS5 console. Now, can you play your Nintendo Switch games that you have, your catalog? Can you play that on the Nintendo Switch 2? That's the question. And I'm hearing a lot of things, a lot of misinformation. Some people saying you can, some people saying you can't. We're not really going to know until the console actually comes out and we have people start making videos about, the game transfers and things of that nature. So if Sony makes this discount permanent, me personally, if they make this discount permanent, that would be the nail in the coffin of Xbox. Because the Xbox right now is $200 more than the PS5, which is crazy. But let's talk about Xbox for 1 minute. Now, I had an Xbox before, and I had an Xbox 360. Of course, my favorite game to play on the Xbox was, of course, Halo. Everybody know if you want to play Halo, that's an exclusive game that you got to have an Xbox to play. But now I'm hearing that some of the game developers for the Xbox are going to games that was primarily for Xbox. Now they're going to be sold third party to Sony, to PlayStation. And if that's true, again, that's PlayStation taking advantage of a situation right now. Because think about it. If you could play Halo on your PlayStation, why would you want an Xbox? If you could play Xbox exclusive games on your PlayStation, would you really want an Xbox? So, this is just a quick little video. I wanted to come talk y'all for a few minutes about PlayStation dropping their prices. I don't know if Nintendo Switch is going to follow. As up to right now, if the Nintendo Switch does go down to an affordable price, I will be getting one so I can make videos and, give you some firsthand information if the Switch. Now, to me personally, what is a fair price for the Nintendo Switch? Honestly, seeing as how you can get a Switch, the first Nintendo, you can get it now for like $199. I think a fair price for the Nintendo Switch 2, no more than $300, $350 at most, because it's a handheld device. But $450, $500 for a Nintendo Switch 2, $80 for Mario World. I just don't know if that's gonna trickle down into anything major productive for Nintendo. Because y'all gotta understand, especially if you have children, or especially if you are a gamer, you're a streamer. We have some people who just play on PC. But for serious gamers, a $500 handheld console versus a PS5 or an Xbox that's maybe $200 cheaper, I don't see a lot of people being able to afford that, especially in an economy with inflation and with President Trump imposing the tariffs on China and Japan and other different places. Now, I've heard to the grapevine that Trump has greatly decreased the tariffs. So that may have an effect on how much the Nintendo Switch 2 is. But we already have people from Sony, people from Nintendo and Microsoft are already complaining about the tariffs being too high and them having to pass the cost on to the customer. And if that is the case, come December, I don't see Nintendo Switch dropping the price because it's a new console. Now, things could be different for the PS5 because the PS5 has been out for a number of years, and PlayStation is known for, dropping their prices around Christmas and New Year's, so they can sell more consoles. And the games are a lot more cheaper for a PlayStation 5. So I guess we're really going to have to really just look and just see how it goes. But I would love to know what y'all think about it in the comment section. Do you think Nintendo Switch 2, do you think the console should reflect the price of inflation? Or do you think the Nintendo 2 price should reflect its consumers? The little people, the little man who, may not have $500, who love Nintendo, but would love for the price to come down a little bit so they can get the console. And would you buy a PS5 if it was under $350? Would you be more inclined to do that? And if Xbox decided to, drop their Xbox One series or the Xbox S series, maybe down $200, would you be more inclined to purchase an Xbox? Inquiring minds want to know. So that being said, family, I want to thank y'all for listening to this video. Hit that like button. please subscribe to the channel and click the bell and click all so you get all notifications whenever I drop a video on the DB's Nation channel. Y'all know I go live every weekend. We've been doing different video games. I want to give a special shout out and love to everybody who has been playing Star Wars Battlefront 2. Right now, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is the most hot trending game right now. And, everybody is really excited about maybe a Star Wars Battlefront 3 coming out. So yeah, man, we're just going to keep asking for it and, and just see what happens. But yeah, man. So again, to Nintendo, to everybody who like Nintendo, all the Nintendo fanboys out there, hey man, look, I'm here right with you, man. I'm here right with you. And if the Nintendo Switch is cheap enough, I'm gonna get one. But Nintendo, we need y'all just to help us out with these prices because a lot of people are feeling some type of way about the console being $500 and Mario World being $80 for the physical copy. So maybe they can fix that, do something about that. And, hey, man, if the PlayStation 5 is going to drop, shoot, man, I would love that. I would love to walk into GameStop, walk into Walmart, walk into Target, walk into Best Buy, and see the PlayStation 5 for $350. And I think they'll sell a lot of consoles. And because of inflation and because of the tariffs, Sony has purchased and stockpiled a lot of their consoles along with Nintendo and Xbox. In anticipation of the tariffs, they have stockpiled a lot of consoles. So we're just going to have to see how it go. Of course, I'll update y'all when I get some more information. And if you already own a Nintendo Switch 2, if you could let me know in the comments section your experience and your opinion of the Nintendo Switch 2, I would really appreciate that because I can't wait to get my hand on one just for a price that's reasonable for everyday working men and women like myself. So that being said, family, I want to thank y'all for listening. Hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And I'll see y'all on another video. And may the force be with you.